Hi, everyone, and welcome back to The Way We Work. In this space here, we talk about how you can find meaning and purpose in the work that you're called to do right now. The beginning of the year sets us up to have meaningful conversations about purpose, about intention, and about desires, what we hope to fulfill, what we wish to fulfill. And I'm hoping that you'll be blessed by the conversation we have today. Our title will be The Time to Begin. And I have two amazing guests with me today. I have Katleho and Mahlatse. Firstly, let's start with you, Katleho. Tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, what does work look like in this season, and then we'll go to Mahlatse.
Thank you for having me. So I'm Katleho. You can call me Kat. So I'm a writer. I write full time. Writing has always been something that I enjoy doing. I just wasn't doing it with intentionality before, but now I am. So work for me looks like expressing how I feel through my words. I run a blog. It's called Built Something with Christ with Cat, where I publish weekly log form content as well as short form content on my Instagram account. So I just share, what the Holy Spirit is leading me to share about, if it's a personal reflection or if it's a revelation during my quiet time, then I'll just share that with people.
Looking forward to that.
Hi everyone, my name is Mahlatse, and I'm a social media girly. By profession, I go by freelance social media manager, but I'm actually also a founder of a smalanyana agency called Club Social, which basically deals about all things social. And that's my work right now. Is that I do social media and I create content, and that is my life at the moment.
Very cool. I work with Mahlatse at the moment, and she's great at what she does. So, holla at her. And I'm sure Kat is too. We'll unpack that as we go into conversation. But I want to start us off with a little icebreaker. Are you guys up for something light and fun? Okay, let's do it. So, my first question would be what is one thing you would like to start in 2016? 2016.
They got me. Your trend.
It must be the trend.
Okay, I'll ask that again. What is one thing you want to start in the year 2026?
So anything.
Anything.
Well, I would love to start boxing. I've always wanted to.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you have any experience in boxing?
I do.
Okay, where does it come from to us?
Honestly, I used to run in school, so I ran track, and I always felt like I wanted to do something sort of like a combat type of sport. So I thought, hey, why not boxing? I want to build muscle, but I don't want to lift weights. You know what I mean? So boxing is definitely something I want to start this year.
Nice.
That is so cool. Yes.
I think it's something that I told myself that I would be starting this year, and I have actually already started it. It's journaling my health journey. Because I think for the past few years I've been trying to get to a point where I'm eating well, where I'm active, and it's always easy to fall off the bandwagon because everything is like social and digital, and like I'm tracking this here, I'm tracking that there. So I thought if I actually have a physical journal that I'm using to document what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, how I'm doing it, it would help me actually stay on course. So it's journaling my health journey.
That's very cool. I love it. I think mine is a little bit similar, just like in terms of keeping track and journaling. My last year, what I noticed is that I ended the year in a little bit of a low. I had a great year, but then I allowed that low to paint the whole year for me.
Sure.
So I was like, oh, it's been such a hard year, but I had to like backtrack and be like, check myself, be like, actually, it's been a good year. It just ended badly. So one thing I'm starting to do is document my weekly wins, like professionally, personally, socially, whatever, and try and have to keep track of those things. So that if I look across the whole year, it's not just whatever I can remember, the last thing I can remember
Yes.
being what marks the year, but rather kind of,
Sure.
the consistency.
That's amazing.
So I'm down with the journey cooking. Might add boxing today. 'Cause why not? Yeah, why not? That's amazing. I have another question for you guys. It's also an icebreaker question. You spoke about what you want to start in the new year. What would you like to stop doing in the new year?
Sure. Mahlatse,
Sorry.
I think this year, and specifically when it comes to work, like, I think I want to stop saying yes to everything. Because I have a habit of piling onto my plate. And then I end up being overly stretched and overwhelmed. So I think I need this year to learn to say, no, I can't do that, or I can't add that to my things to do.
I love that.
So stop saying yes.
Yeah.
So more boundaries.
Yeah, to have more boundaries. Because I think, I haven't been very good at setting boundaries. And I think it stems from not wanting to let people down. And so, I will say, I can do it. And then I'm there by myself crying, trying to get it done.
Yeah. Boundaries
So-
are literally.
Yeah, I think that's good. I think we love to overcommit out of a need to please sometimes, So, and I guess it's the human nature in us that's just constantly wanting to do. I think you expect that from other people for you as well, you know what I mean? It's
For
so,
sure.
yeah, for me, it's the opposite of Mahlatse. I actually want to say yes this year because I've always been a very, I don't know how to put it, very cautious, overly cautious sometimes, which is a good thing, but also not so great because how then are you going to try out new things, meet different people, have conversations like these where I don't say yes, So I often used to say no quite a lot, no to people, no to things. Whenever an opportunity or a challenge would come up, I would scan for danger instead of discovery. You know what I mean? So I want to stop doing that this year. So I want to say no to me saying no all the time.
Yeah.
Say yes this time. You know what I mean?
So good.
Yeah.
Thank you for saying yes to this. I feel like your yes will be a blessing to the people watching.
Exactly.
And I'm looking forward to more conversation. And also very self-aware, both of you. And I love that conviction for two different people looks like the complete opposite. So it comes down to like being aware of like where do I currently stand, and being willing to name the thing for yourself and be like, actually, this is where I need to grow. With that said, I spoke a little bit about like journaling my wins in my year because there was a lot that was good last year that I sort of overlooked. The third question would be in line with that. What can you look back on from the past year and say, actually, I did very good in this area and I'd like to continue? What win can you celebrate for yourself that you'd like to carry over into 2026?
What does it channel?
Yeah, I think for me, it's audacity. So, it's almost like, for me, it's not like a tangible thing to say, I did this, or I didn't do this, or I excelled in this, but it's just like, even believing that I can do something.
Love that.
Because I think that's what led me to quitting my job last year, is, just having the audacity to say, God,
Sure.
I'm leaving this place and I don't know what it's going to look like after I walk out of this door, but I know it's going to be good.
Yeah.
And just, being in that space where I'm audacious. And I think for me, that's one of my favorite things about myself last year. It's just, having the audacity to even, dream.
Oh, that's good. Wow, I love that. I like betting on yourself more.
Yeah.
I really like that. I think for me, last year, I think I want to continue putting myself out there more, especially in my writing, because I feel as though writing is very personal, as the only way you can really touch people, really resonate with people is when you look inward a lot more deeper, you know what I mean? So I've always, like I said, I've always just been, a little too cautious, a little too skeptical of people. I had a lot of mistrust for people in general. So now I just want to open myself up more and be okay with that and not feel as if am I going to be judged, but I'm like how people want to perceive me, things like that. So I'm just trying to let go of the external noises, sometimes the internal noises, because it's self-doubt, sometimes it's, I don't know, whatever. So I want to let go of that more and just put myself out there.
So good. So good. Well, we're going to get into today's topic, and before I ask you guys some of the questions, and I think you touched on the surface of some of them, so I'm really looking forward to going deeper into these questions. But before I do that, I just want to, we're doing this because we care so much about people living our purpose, and we know that it is on God's heart too. We're all created with purpose. So if you're watching this right now and you've watched it before and you feel like it's a blessing to you, please do subscribe to the channel. This helps us a lot. It helps us reach a lot more people with this message. But also share it. Share it with somebody who is in a stage of life where they're starting something. They want to continue something. They're looking for audacity or courage or needing to step out. Please take some time to share our content, but also to subscribe to our channel. We would really, really appreciate that. So to go into today's conversation, Kat, I want to start with you and asking this question because I just love your honesty. And I think we live in a culture where everyone wants to act like I just go out there and do the things, because some people, I feel like you genuinely are that Mahlatse, and I don't want to speak for people, but I think sometimes there is a reservation in being honest about the fact that some of us are cautious. I'm also quite a cautious person, by the way. And with today's topic being approaching the year with clarity, not just clarity in what we need to be doing, but how we need to be moving forward on the things that we're doing. What is our calling, and doing that with intention. So my question to you would be, why do you think it's so scary for many people to start something, to take the step, and do what they feel like they're called to do?
Sure. So top of mind, I'd say it's the opinions of other people, because we're worried what are people going to think. And it's so funny for me personally, I was worried about the people in my life, not necessarily strangers on the internet because I don't know them like that.
Right.
But it's more often than not the people in my life, like friends, family. What are they going to think? I think also because some of the people they may be well-meaning, but they don't know the conversation that you have with the Holy Spirit. You know what I mean? Only you know what you're supposed to do. So sometimes when you share things that may not make sense to them, they might discourage you. So people tend to not try out new things or not step out or not do what the Lord called them to do because they are thinking, what is so-and-so going to think?
Wow.
Or maybe it does not work out and you fall flat on your face and they're like, but we did say talk about guns. You know what I mean? Even if they won't say it, but I guess the elephant in the room is there. You know? So I think a lot of the times it's definitely being worried about what other people are going to think about you. Because at the end of the day, we want to be accepted the way that we are. We want to be applauded for the stuff that we do. That's just the truth of the matter, right? Yes, there are people that say, I don't care what people think. Well, to some degree you do. And I think you should. Because then it allows you to show up properly and, have an understanding that you should care a little, but not at the expense of disregarding what the Lord instructed you to do.
Right.
That's where it becomes problematic.
That's so good. So interesting you say that. Over the past 2 weeks, I've seen 2 accounts on Instagram specifically of both people saying, I have been wanting to start this for a very long time, but I've been too afraid. So I've blocked all of my friends and family and I've started this account. So no one I know knows this is happening. And I was like, but the purpose of that for them was so that they can fully be themselves. So that kind of like the judgment of people who would know them and say, well, that's not you. Oh, you're already putting on some. It makes me think of actually a Bible story. Can we go Bible?
Yes, please.
God really challenged me with this. I was reading a story we know the popular story of David and Goliath, right? At the time, David's brothers were in kind of like the battlefield. Goliath was there doing the taunting and all of those, like saying whatever he's saying, going crazy. And David's dad had sent him to bring food to his brothers. As he's going to the camp, he hears Goliath going on, right? And David starts to ask around, who is this Philistine? And what did the king say? Because the king had offered a reward for whoever would defeat Goliath. So David comes forth and he's like, guys, what's happening? Tell me what the king said about who, like what he'll give to the person who defeats. And one of David's brothers steps out and starts to criticize David. It's like, we know how you are. You always want to insert yourself. Kind of like talking down to David and making him, and perhaps, they knew him. Perhaps he was somebody who liked to insert himself. Do you know what I mean? But in that moment, I was so encouraged by David saying, his response was like, what did I do now? It's like, very younger brother coded. But he says like, what did I do now? Anyways, he immediately turns his face from his brother and carries on to inquire. Like, he had a mission in mind and he had a view in mind. And he didn't allow the discouragement of his brothers to stop him from carrying on, pursuing the mission that was in front of him. One, because he was so passionate about this Philistine who was defying God and speaking against God. And I think that says a lot about him. He's spoken to what we're called to do. Forget the voices. If there's a mission in front of you, there's a calling in front of you, go for that and God will back him. And we know, if you haven't heard the story, we know it ends with one rock between a giant's eyes. Like, it's so, it speaks of the providence of God, where he takes what we have in our hands and in our obedience, he uses that for his kingdom and glory. I want to ask, so thank you for sharing that, Kaz. I think it's like, that will encourage so many people because it's encouraging me because I'm very much like that. Mahlatse, maybe you can also speak into that. Why do you think some people hesitate to start something, in your opinion?
I think one of the things is just like being scared to fail. It's just one of those things, like, you're like, am I going to do it right? Am I going to succeed? Or is it just going to fail? It's just one of the things that Kat said, like falling flat on your face. Like, that thing it just haunts, it haunts some of us to the point that it stops you from doing the thing. And I think for myself, one of the things that I know about myself is that I will do something if I know that I'm good at it and it's going to succeed. Like, I'm also like one of those people that, like, I actually, even though I do feel like I have a level of ambition, behind my mind, I'm like, I have a ceiling. Like, this is how far I can go. So sometimes it's just fear. Hey, you're just like, what if it doesn't work? And I think that fear cripples you to the point where you don't even ask, what if it does work?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I would say. People are we're just scared. We're just not having, being brave enough to say that even if it fails, I'm still going to do it because it's getting me a step further than where I was.
Yeah.
So we just get crippled by the fear of
true.
failing.
Yeah, no, it's so true. And also, I think we also wait for, and maybe you guys can speak into this, we wait for permission, especially if it's a new thing, like we look around and say, wait, who is doing it and who's doing it right, And sometimes God is calling you to be the
first.
that, that others will look to and be like, this is a thing, Sometimes we hold back because, and that's a conviction I've had for a while, to be like, why do you look for permission? Like I'm an over-explainer sometimes, like, overly get somebody affirm this so that I know it's a real thing and I'm not crazy. But I think it speaks into that fear of failure. And I think we need to have a more comfortable relationship with failure. Failure is not the end of things, it's revelation of what we can do better. Starting to reframe failure as this is a teacher. Failure is a teacher. Teaches you what you should stop doing, what you should start doing, what you should do better. And I think maybe embrace that a little bit better and not make failure identity thing. I am a failure. This failed. You know, it's like shifting, reframing that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree with what you have to say.